Hi everyone, Dead Battery here, and thank you for joining me on my channel. So today's video is going to be on a trash find, and I know I haven't done too many of these recently, but it's been a hit or miss at the dumpsters, as well as I don't always show you some of the not simpler things I find, but things I find commonly, like laptops, PS4s, and Xboxes. So I have found those, but I don't always show that I found them. And if you want to see more of that, let me know and I can definitely show you. But this time I found something kind of interesting. It wasn't necessarily a trash find, but it's in conjunction with another piece of equipment I found. So while me and my husband were driving home from the grocery store or somewhere, I don't really remember, we passed by a table on the side of the road near the trash can of a house, and it was obviously set up as trash. It said free. And I didn't really pay attention at first, but when we passed it, my husband goes, "Is that a 3D printer?" And I went, "No." So he pulled over, I got out of the car, I walked all the way down and realized it was a 3D printer. So I grabbed it. So this video is going to be about a 3D printer that I found in the trash, but about 6 months ago, I found a 3D printer at the dumpster. And I was trying to find the picture so I could prove that I found it just sitting next to the dumpster, but I can't seem to find it. However, there wasn't a lot wrong with it, so I didn't really post anything about it. As far as this new 3D printer I found, there's a difference between them. So I thought I'd do a video on what I found, see if it works, because I haven't even plugged it in yet, and then also show you the other 3D printer I found. So let's have a look at what I found on the curb. So here's the 3D printer that we found next to the trash can on the curb, and it's an Elegoo. I don't actually know the correct pronunciation. So the left one is the printer, and then the one on the right, it was also sitting next to it. So I made sure to grab both because I do remember seeing something that the yellow covered one can be used to put pieces in to dissolve something, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Also, near it were 3 closed boxes. It says Space Gray. So from my understanding, this one is a resin one, which dips and prints it that way. So this is the liquid it uses. And then it also had the power cords. I'll have to figure out which one goes to which. There were some manuals. I didn't know what I needed, so I just grabbed everything. I have no idea what this is yet, but it said it's for the 3D printer. And then there was also this little ceramic container of screws, and out of chance, I decided to grab it because you never know. It looks like something was spilled on it. It's pretty beat up on the front there. I'm not too sure what's up with that or if that's gonna affect it working. I am gonna page through the manual and see if it says anything in particular. The booklet does show what comes with it. I'm definitely missing a couple things. I am not positive of how this goes together. There were these brackets here that were loose, and then there is this USB connected fan on the back, and it definitely has something that looks like it was spilled on it as well. Once again, not sure if it works. The top doesn't seem like anything's wrong with it, but something spilled. So maybe the person before spilled something on it and it stopped working. I'm taking a guess, but it looks like these brackets somehow go to this bottom platform and maybe all hooks to it. And this is what the top plate looks like, and that is what I assume it will stick to and then hold whatever you make. I did figure out which cord goes to this, so let's plug it in and see if this works. And I'm actually really surprised it turned on. So it's called an Elegoo Mars 4. I did look it up and it is an older model. It roughly goes for $160. I accidentally changed the language to Japanese, so I gotta switch it back. But it just is a basic menu. I'm not too sure what to do. I'm assuming I'm going to have to look up maybe the program it uses. I thought maybe there would be more on the menu, but there's not. I got my alcohol and my contact cleaner to see maybe if some of this stuff came off, and it does not. So I'm kind of assuming maybe whatever liquid is used to create the figures maybe spilled and it just sticks really well. I'm not too sure if I can take it apart fully to scrape this all off and clean it better, but I did look at its website and they do sell the LCD screen separately. So I'm thinking I could take it apart maybe and cleaning it a little better, but I feel like I want to test it first before I take it apart and possibly break it. So I looked at the instructions and it says the plate here can be evened out. And then I also looked up a video and it's like the other 3D printer that you have to even it out. So it said that you just lower the plate and you make sure the paper underneath doesn't get stuck in any one of the corners, and you can use the Allen wrench to adjust. Now the Allen wrench at the top here seems really tough and I feel like I really have to turn it hard to get it not to move. So that could also be a fault with it. Maybe they couldn't get it to not move and it messed things up, but I won't know until I actually test it out. I'm trying to set the 0 and it keeps saying home first, then manually adjust the Z axis to the best position. Now I did home first and it sounded like it pushed down too far. I got a little scared and I hit the stop, but then I adjusted it from there. So is this a machine that you always set it home and then you adjust it yourself and then you do the print? Or is it one that can memorize where your 0 point for Z is? Because I am not too sure. I tried it again, it did the same thing, it went down and it sounded like it went too far. So I panicked a little bit and I hit the stop and I just moved the Z axis up so it's out of the way. Now on to this other thing I got with it. I'm glad I grabbed it. I wasn't too sure if it belonged with it or not, but now that I look at it again, it looks like these brackets here. So from the directions on the back of the packet, which is awesome that they give them to you, it looks like you squeeze the piece of plastic in between it and then put the screws in and put it on the other bracket. So also, luckily I grabbed the ceramic container that's got all the screws in it. I know I can easily find screws, but you never know when you're gonna need screws. So even if I didn't use them for this, I had a whole bunch of new screws. So the directions say to take out screws and detach the steel ring. I did notice that the film is larger than the bracket. I don't know if that is a thing, if it's supposed to be or not supposed to be, but when I matched it up to the top, it seems like it's going to be an issue. But once again, I don't know how this actually works. Let me know in the comments if these are supposed to be sized for the individual 3D printer you have, or if you're supposed to cut it. So don't judge me, but I cut it. And then you flip it over, put it inside of this bracket, and then you use the other screws, and they're longer, to hold it down to this. The plastic felt secured, but it didn't feel crazy tight until I started putting these screws in, and it pulls it down over the lip and it makes it tighter, which now makes me understand how it holds the liquid. I've never seen one in person and never understood how it keeps the liquid, and now this is making more sense. So as I slowly go around, it gets tighter and tighter and it completely holds it down. So I'm assuming this makes it watertight, liquid tight. And then it goes on top of here and gets held down by the two really long screws. So once again, really glad that I decided to grab everything that was there besides the spatulas. Now on to the next thing I grabbed. It's the one with the yellow and it's called Mercury Plus, and I looked it up. It's cleaning and curing. It's a 2-in-1. So it has 2 cleaning options, 360 omnidirectional hardening. It's easy to use and it has a UV cover. And I'm just kind of messing with the buttons, and I was trying to figure out how it spins something, if it's inside the bucket, because there's a bucket here and I'm assuming something soaks in there. But then I decide to get the manual because, hey, I remembered picking it up and it shows me, and it makes so much more sense. So basically it's an all-in-one, as I mentioned, and you soak it and then you take it out and you put it on the spinner, and it's supposed to cure it while it's spinning it and dry it. So you're supposed to take stuff off and put stuff on when you use it. So I wanted to open one of the boxes and see what this looks like, and it comes with a brush. The color is space gray and it's water washable photopolymer resin. So this was definitely an interesting find, and I didn't really get to do anything with it yet. I hope to make another video of kind of working through figuring it out. And it looks like this also came with some kind of thumb drive, so I'm assuming either A, the programs on it that I'm supposed to use, or something else. So I have to do a little more research. If anybody knows how to use this or what the best program is to use, let me know in the comments, because this is all going to be a learning curve for me. And I mentioned that because I also found this. So I found this 3D printer next to the dumpster. It's called an Ender Pro 3, and when I grabbed it, I didn't really make a video of it because I had a friend who had some filament I could borrow. So I brought it home and I started messing with it and looking at videos, and there was a really good video somebody made on the setup. So I figured out how to even it out or level it, and then I learned about the heating of it, and I could tell that it was a little wobbly. So then I had to dig a little deeper to figure out how to take the wobble out, and once the wobble was gone, it basically printed with no issue. There was already a file in it that somebody was attempting to make. You could see the design on the plates still. So I just hit print and it worked. So I didn't really make a video because I thought you guys would be bored. But here is the 3D printer that I found next to the dumpster that I got working. So now I have 2 3D printers and 2 different types of 3D printers. And I know they're both probably the lowest of 3D printers, but you know what? It works for what I'm gonna need it for. I don't need anything fancy. I'm not building figures or anything like that. What I would really be using it for is creating parts for any of my electronics that I need parts for, like my Laserdisc player that I had to struggle to find a correct part for because the 3D printing that I bought from somebody did not work out. So I had to find it a different way. Now the resin one does look a little more technical, and basically instead of the head moving and printing out the filament, it grabs it from the bottom and lifts it up, and the figure will be below it. This is going to be interesting. I did look up different programs to use for it, but let me know in the comments what your favorite one is to use, and maybe something I can test print that's not going to be too crazy and make me go insane, and at least test it out. This is definitely one of those odd finds that I'm not necessarily looking for, but the second I see it, I'm gonna grab it because I'm definitely gonna try something new. Let me know if you have either of these 3D printers, what you like or what you don't like about them, and hopefully soon I'll be able to make another video of me actually attempting to print something on it. So here's hoping that I can get it to work, and then we'll have 2 3D printers. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye!